Okay, so it is Monday, October 8th, and this is Sarah Armstrong Jones speaking, and I'm taping and interviewing Julie Hirsch and her daughter Nicolette Hirsch. And Julie is talking, has been just explaining two things to me that will help a lot of normals or typical people be more supportive and understanding about some dynamics in autism. And Julie, you were trying to help me understand how someone with autism can be less cut off, and you were using an analogy of the Indiana Jones movie. And
yeah,
can you explain that?
I don't know much about like all other people with their different versions. There's different versions. I just know what I do, like with the dolphin, because I see her drift like myself, and I remember what I did.
Yeah.
So I did it with herself. Like you could experience life, like if you're watching a movie theater, and you may see like an Indiana Jones movie, and you know what's going on and you understand what's going on, and you may even like some characters more than other characters, and you may even foresee some things that might happen and have hopes and dreams for them and enjoy the movie, but you're not really part of the movie.
No, I'm just sitting in the audience watching.
Yes, you're in the audience, and people could tell that you're watching and you're listening, and sometimes they could even understand that you understand what's happening, which many times it's like you're not even there. But like in the movie theater, you get caught up with what's going on without you, that you know you're not part of what's the movie on the screen.
And that what you do doesn't affect what's on the screen either.
Yeah, what you do don't affect what's on the screen, and except by accident, or if it happens, it's like by accident, But most of the time you experience life like you're sitting on the movie theater watching it all happen around you.
And then you were telling me an example, like tell again how.
With the dolphin, I know that she gets that drifty, where she understands what's happening and everything, but to make her bring her in the screen, I talk to her, I bring the attention to her. Like, dolphin, what do you think of that? It would be sort of like Indiana Jones on the movie screen, turning to you in the audience and saying, what do you think about that, Sarah? All of a sudden, you just have a sense of yourself as part of what's happening.
And it would be shocking if Indiana Jones turned to me and I was watching the movie, and he said, Sarah, at first I wouldn't even think he was talking to me.
Because you have already gotten used to the fact that you were something separate of what was going on around you. But after a while, if Indiana Jones keeps stopping and saying, Sarah, what do you think? What do you think? And you may not know how to like interact with everybody on the screen, or talk to everybody on the screen, or even tell him correctly what's going on, but at least all of a sudden you realize that somehow you're in there with him, because Indiana Jones all of a sudden say, Sarah, what do you think?
And I wouldn't even think how to get his attention. I wouldn't even think when I'm watching the movie I should get anybody's attention.
Exactly. Because you're associating it as something happening without you. You don't go and watch TV and say to, Joey or Chandler on Friends, hey, you guys, I'm right here, because they won't hear you. You just don't do that. You just watch TV like a spectator,
And also because you talked about, I think I'm using the right word, telekinesis, and how just because you think something in your mind doesn't make it happen.
Yes.
And if no matter how much I thought in my mind, or even tried to walk close to the TV or use my arms or anything, nobody on the TV would, like Chandler, would notice me.
Yes.
So I would be invisible to the people in the movie, and I would be invisible to people on a TV show.
Yes. But, like, the occurrences happen where things that you do affect your environment and they affect you somewhat, then you start really that you're in there somewhat. But like, you know, that's how I realized I was like, you know, because sometimes the environment affected me and sometimes I did something that would affect the environment. And it was like, like, you know how that song, things that make you go, that song. See, like that. That is like emphasis I'm trying to use, like speech within speech, even though is not really like a word that means anything, but it could mean something. It means a lot. It should be in a dictionary, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, back to the point now. So what I do to remind the dolphin is to pull her in, is ask her questions and make her opinion, like count, like I will say, what do you think of that?
And even if she can't answer, you're still including, even if she can't speak typical words.
When I ask her, it makes her sort of thinking, like, what do I think in this? Like, for example, Indiana Jones came and said, what do you think I should do next, Sarah? All of a sudden, even if you can't really tell him or move or anything, all of a sudden you realize that you are in there with them. And that's one. And two, that you would rather go in this through the caves, not through the bridge or something like that. Because then, you know, like you would like you would say, I want to do that. It makes you want to, like, join in. Like, will yourself. You know, before you're just watching it all go on without you. But once you realize that you are also a character on the screen, then you start thinking, what do you want your character to do?
How does it feel if you start to think you're a character in the movie or a person in the room and you try to speak or communicate at that time and nobody's listening or understanding you?
Then you just fall back on the movie theater seats again.
And start watching the story.
Go on without you again.
Yeah. And so then we talked about, if I were to switch to another topic, I asked for some advice about Dove. And what I explained in our conversation was that Dove has a really hard time getting in and out of cars. And it's very difficult for him to do, very uncomfortable. And he has to do it on average 2 or 3 times a day at least, and it's very hard every single time. And I asked, what could I do to help him? And you had some ideas.
Don't know if I will talk to you. I would say to you, though, I had this issue before, and this is because everything getting out of the car moves on me. So even if it was supposed to be like in my driveway, everything is just movement, and it took time for everything to move. So this was like frightening. So I tell you what I did when I was a child person. So I want you like to listen. So when I listen, turn off your eyes, like close your eyes and don't use your eyes for anything. I want you to just listen to what I'm saying. Don't look at anything. Just listen to what I say. I say, like, close your eyes and just let someone lead you. Like, listen.
So
like,
what would be your instructions to me with Dove?
Yeah, your instructions would be like, Dove, close your eyes, turn off your eyes, and I would lead you like you were blind. Just make yourself blind for a little while until you are home or where you need to be, and then you could like organize everything you see without the movement. Like count to 5, turn off your eyes, turn them back on, look at have everything settle into space, into where they're supposed to be. Because if you're moving out of the car, everything is going you know?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Everything goes, it's just like blurred movements. So then you have to sit still so everything just fall into place. Close your eyes and let them all like in your mind organize, open, organize. But when you're in the car, what you do, just tell him to close his eyes and to move like a blind person, and let you lead him like a blind person.
And then will he still have an adjustment when he opens his eyes?
It will take some time, yeah. It would make an adjustment, but if he is still, then like things would kind of fall into like all the little dots make stationary things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain.
When you say all the little dots, do you mean objects or dots?
All the little dots become stationary images, like this is a tree, and this is like a door, and this is like a driveway, or you know, all the little dots start forming a picture.
Because they're not moving.
They're not moving. Like if you're moving out of the car, everything goes, it's like vertigo. Everything's like moving.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just like almost fall off a cliff, or I mean, it's like everything's like, there's no images. So you don't, you know, like I had that problem where it wasn't like images, it was like a movement. So
Which is overwhelming.
yeah, because you're going sideways. I don't walk sideways, see?
Mm-hmm.
I move forward, and I don't, if I move sideways, I could do that if I'm spinning, but then I'm just spinning in one area. That doesn't make it, that's something else. But I'm not seeing anything, you know. But in the car, just trying to know where you're at, like going out,
Mm-hmm.
because you're sitting and then you're standing, like everything is like, you know, you could almost get nauseous and dizzy and like frightened because you don't even see the floor that you're stepping on.
Wasn't that like you said as a child that stairs could disappear?
Yeah, the stairs used to disappear on me. Like they would curve, and they didn't have like space. They would just curve, and like you could just fall through like a hole kind of, and they would like move, like not be so clear. So if I had to go down the stairs, I had to close my eyes and feel my way down like a blind person.
Now what do you do?
Now I'm older, and my senses don't hit me as hard as I did when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
But my sister, that's how, my sister pulled me out of the car when I was a child person, was like I had to close my eyes, and my sister would lead me out, and I would not open my eyes until I was inside the house. So my sister would hold my hand up until we were in the house. And I didn't remember, I only remembered that because I did that with the dolphin after.
And what about, like if someone like Dove has a tough time with all kinds of transitions. Another one would be if he's sitting on a couch, for example, it's really overwhelming for him to get up to go use the bathroom, even if he has to go. Would you do, and that's like, say, even at home. So would that be...
It might take time, but I would do the same thing I had told the dolphin to do, and it takes time. It might take time. So even if it don't work right away, don't give up on it. Just keep on doing it, because you see that once in a while you'll start getting better at it. I would go like with your eyes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyes on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ears on. When you put your ears on, turn off your eyes. When you turn your eyes on, turn off your ears. It's like don't even do anything. Just try to switch. If you could control that part of yourself for a little while, like own that. It doesn't you see, don't attack the big things all at once. Start breaking them down into tiny little parts. And if you could start owning tiny little parts of yourself for a part of the time, then you can move on to bigger things. So for like just sitting there, not even paying, not doing anything, so that you don't have to like have all new information to process or organize, what you do, you're just sitting there on the sofa, then you turn your eyes on, right? And then count to 5 and turn your ears on. Now, it might not happen right away, and you may not want, it might be frustrating, but try to just switch 5. You'll actually feel good when you are switching, when you can make one thing into the front and the other thing into the background. You'll start feeling oh, I'm controlling this little part of myself. So you just sit there and just go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes on, and then just look at everything. And then 1, 2, 3, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ears, so just off, turn off, eyes on, eyes off. And then you go, or ears in, well, you could start that first, eyes on, eyes off, eyes on, eyes off. So it's like turning, you start controlling that little bit of yourself, and it doesn't seem like it's going to do much, but it does a lot, because now you could for yourself control when you have your eyes on and when you have your eyes off. And when you got that little part of yourself, then you feel confident to move on to another section. Like the dolphin, she has this thing where if she's moving, she's got her eyes on and her ears are off. So if you call her, she won't hear you. And then she stops, and then she's listening, and then she goes on again. So she's if you see her, she's walking, stopping, walking, stopping, walking, stopping. That's because she's going from eyes to ears. She's shifting. So what you first start off at is eyes on, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see what you see, and then close them. And then when you close them, organize everything. Organize everything. Now when you move, when you go into the bathroom, everything's going to move on you.
When you get up out of the sofa.
When you get up out of the sofa, everything's going to move on you. So even though you're in your house and this is your sofa and this is the bathroom, in your mind you want to go there, but once you get up to move, everything, all the dots, I don't know if you see dots, I see dots, all the dots move, and they don't become concrete anymore. They're not where they're supposed to be, because they're moving.
Yeah.
As you're moving, everything becomes whoosh. So it's everything, your vision becomes distorted. You cannot rely on your vision at this time, really. So you just do
and you don't need it really. You could get up without your eyes open.
Because you get up. So close your eyes and get up. When you get up, then you open them, because everything's they're not moving no more, so they could fall into just give some time to adjust where all the dots will fall into place, and then all of a sudden that will be, okay, this is where that's my coffee table, and that's a TV, and that's a lamp. I'm in my living room. But when you're getting up, your eyes are, or the visuals might, I don't know if you're like me at all, but it happens with me, see? And you get that sinking feeling, you're on a roller coaster, because everything's and you're not, so you close your eyes and you get up. Then you open it just to organize. Then you close your eyes and you make a right or a left in the direction where the bathroom is. If you open your eyes and you see where everything's at, then you know that the bathroom be either in this direction, it to your right, to your left. You kind of know in your home where it's everything at. So you close your eyes, you make a left turn. Say, for example, if you're going to the left, I'm saying, for example, imaginary, if the bathroom's to the left, then you move to the left with your clothes. Now you open your eyes and you see where everything's kind of stationary is. Yeah. All of a sudden, so you close your eyes and organize again, just to open again, and everything should be back where they were before.
What are you organizing in your head, ideas or pictures?
The visuals, where everything
Okay.
is at.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want everything to move, see? So you could now just like go like maybe like point, instead of looking, let all the visuals go in, just center on one thing. Just look at one thing there, and like say the corner of the door where the bathroom is, just the door, like say if it's the doorknob or something, and just focus on that, like nothing else, like not to organize anything else. And like you know, like if you already know there's nothing in that pathway that you will stumble on, you would just go, like, don't even look, like for example, like if you saw the Indiana Jones, so if somebody's walking to the bridge and they're afraid to walk to the bridge because there's a cliff, and they could fall down, and if they say don't look at the ground, just look at like in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, because if you look down and you realize how you could fall to your death, you get into a panic.
Yeah.
So don't, it's like almost like just the same way, don't look at everything else, just look at what's in front of you, step by step, like little bits, like want something to center on, like the doorknob, like you're going towards the doorknob or the corner of the door. There's always these little white ridges there, like, well, my doors have white, like, you know, where the door is, like sticks out, that's where the door is. So I focus on that, and I just go, like, the walls don't exist and the floor don't exist. I don't even look at that. I just look straight through there, just to make it, just to get there. Then I close my, you know, you close your eyes again and you go in, right? You move, you know, just a little bit to go inside.
Yes.
See? Then, like, keep still, don't move, open your eyes again and see where everything else is. It's like taking little snapshots of where everything is and then moving. Snapshot, move, snapshot, move.
So, how, when you were a kid, you were describing how it was hard to learn everything about going to the bathroom.
Yeah, it was a long time. It was very embarrassing. I don't want to talk. Well, I was 13.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, Dove has similar issues. Any advice for him once he gets inside the bathroom, how to organize and go through all the steps?
I had to go through all the steps one by one.
Yeah.
One by one. Because honestly, I did everything wrong. If there's a step you miss, I made it, like if I didn't, like if I pulled my pants down but not my underwear, I would go in my underwear. Or if I didn't pull the seat up, I would just pee like right there on top of the seat.
So any advice for other autistics who struggle with those issues on, just like you gave a really good strategy for how to get to the bathroom, any suggestions inside the bathroom to people like Dove or other autistics?
I repeated stuff to like I had to remind myself to do every step.
Did it help to close your eyes and think about the next step?
Yes, that's what I used to do. Like like I got my pants down, I closed my eyes and think, what do I need to do next? And then I opened it and look around. I started, like, I closed my eyes a lot too. They used to think I had problems with my eyes too. See, so.
But that's just to get everything organized visually.
It's to get organized because you can't trust your vision.
Right.
You see?
Because
like,
the dots...
Okay, like right now, if I'm going to the bathroom right now,
yeah.
I know the bathroom is right in front of me. I know that the path is kind of clear. I plan it out in my head first. I pull the cover off. See, I get off to the edge of the bed. I walk like, it's like 3 paces to the door. There's a door frame. Then a couple paces, there's going to be to my left a tub. In front of me there's a toilet, and to the right there's a sink. See?
Yeah.
So now I'm walking through there, the 3 paces I'm already going through into the white room because the bathroom is white. And then there's like all like these tiles, and I could tell like, and I have to distract myself from counting all the tiles because I want to, but I can't do it all the time. I already did it before too, so it's not necessary to do so. But anyway, as I walk through there, I go to the toilet. Now I have to remember to turn around away from the toilet, because I used to just stand in front of the toilet, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to figure out, like I would pull my pants down, yeah, and sit down in front of the toilet. So I would sit down on air. Yeah. So I had to remember, okay, there's in front of me now, and then I would like close my eyes because the room would spin. Yeah. And I would do like...
Yeah, because if you sit down and then get back up, that's the same thing about everything moving.
Yeah, that's what I had. But I had bad eye problem. I mean, the spinning was really bad when I was a child person. Now I'm my nothing. I mean, it was a nightmare when I was younger. See, it was harder, everything visually. So I had to stand there. So I would turn around. If I'm thinking about when my eyes were really bad, when my vision was such a liar. Mm-hmm. I don't mean like a liar, but it would distort what was happening. Yeah. So it used to make things close to impossible, and people thought that I had eye problems. So, but then they would check my eyes, and I could see better than most people, like very far away. So they didn't understand that the eyes just kind of shift and change everything. So I would turn around because I'd had this problem for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I would reach down to where I would go behind me, to where I would feel the edge of the seat, like the cool edge of the seat, because you might go, that's... And then I would drop down my pants, and I did this before in the beginning, but I had to go... if I'm wearing jeans, I had to do the button first. Mm-hmm. Now this is hard because I don't know if you had this problem, but I had the hardest time doing buttons.
Yeah, we changed all the buttons to snaps.
And I did like shoelaces. I could honestly tell you I was in my 20s almost before I perfected this, because it would take me 20 minutes to tie my shoelaces. It's embarrassing, but it's always the little things that get in the way. Yeah. It's always the little things. So don't feel bad about this, because it's like you find out after that you're clever in other areas than other people at. But it's like the little things that they take for granted is the things that will get in your way. So you turn around and you see if you could feel the edge, yeah, and see not to go too far, because then your hand would go right into the water. Yeah. And that's happened to me before, but then after a while you start calculating, like how I calculated just by, like, it's like about 3 steps from here to the door frame. I already know that because I already know that it takes 3 steps to go to the door frame. So you realize like how many steps it would take to go to the toilet. For me, it would take like 8 steps. Mm-hmm. See, you start calculating. That's why, like, I know everything in my house, where everything is at. When we had the hurricane and we went without electricity, and it could be 10 o'clock at night and it was dark and no electricity, we could still get to everywhere, the bathroom. And I could go everywhere without a candle. Yeah. So you have to start trying to basically make yourself blind when you can't trust your vision. When your vision gets in the way and you can't trust it, you have to learn how to navigate like a blind person.
So switching things around in your house does what? Like if somebody, like if Dova lives with his family and things get changed around in the house all the time, how is that for someone like you?
Me, I have to know where everything is at. It bothered me, like with Gladys. If Gladys, like, I would still get stressed if I get home and she moved something. Mm-hmm. Then, like, it was there when I left, and I have like a picture, like it's there, and if it's not there, then I go nuts a little bit. But she pretty much tries to put everything back in the same place, even though she never like does. Like the dollhouse, the last time she cleaned was a bit closer to the door than it was supposed to, so I actually kicked it by accident when I went to the classroom because it was too close to the door, so the edge hit my knee.
Yeah.
So little things like that. Like, but my eyes are okay, better now than before. But before, my eyes was like played tricks on you. So you have to think about things like your eyes will often have like optical illusion or like play tricks on you.
So like what would be some things that you learned were playing, like give some examples of
I turned off my eyes.
Yeah.
And organized where everything was in my head.
Because what would be like an optical illusion that would give you wrong information? Can you give an example? I know about that when you are moving, all the dots are moving and not organizing into shapes.
Well, like when the details are too big, like when your eyes focus on something and the details hit you and they're too big that you can't figure out what it is.
Like if you were looking at somebody's clothing and their clothing had a pattern on it, then could the pattern be all you see?
Yeah, like the pattern is all you see. Like when we went to Henry's house.
Yeah.
And she put like grapes on Nemo plate. I knew that I saw, like first I just saw a bunch of colors, bright colors.
Yeah.
And it just looked like bright, it didn't even look like a plate, it just looked like bright colors. Then all of a sudden the bright colors sort of like settled down, and then there were edges, like different colors, and then they had the edges. Then you see like it would end in a round shape. Then when the colors settle down more, I realized, oh, that's like Nemo from the Walt Disney movie.
Yeah.
And it was the fish from Nemo. See?
And then when did you see food on the plate after that?
Like I saw that there was like pictures, like other colors that did not correlate with the image.
Of the fish,
The
Nemo.
fish. Yeah, like there were like weird things. I touched it, there was something on it. Well, of course I rationalized that if she put a plate, that it turned out to be a plate, that there may be something on it. So I looked at it, I realized it was a grape after I took it out of its environment, which was the many-colored plate. So I knew that the dolphin will not be able to see the grapes on the plate because she won't be able to separate the grapes from the plate.
So then a person could think, like a typical person could see a child like Nicolette or Lily and go, oh, they have bad motor skills, that's why they can't pick it up off the plate. But it could also be because the plate has such a fancy artwork, you can't even see the food.
You get lost on the plate, and then if you get lost on the plate, then you can't separate the food from the plate.
Yeah, so
it just becomes like a mix of colors altogether. So that's why I took the grapes off the plate, and you see, Sarah, they had a tablecloth and it was white.
Yes, I remember.
See, so the grapes on the tablecloth, you could see that they were grapes on white tablecloth. See, they were grapes. So that way the dolphin could look, aim, because you see like she'll look first, and then she aim, and then she grabs. But when she's grabbing, she's not using her eyes at the same time. You'll see that. I don't know if you see that she'll grab after, like soon after, so she could grab it.
So she looks to get the picture and estimate.
Yes, she looks to get the picture, and then she estimates where she has to aim to grab it. Because she hasn't perfected that part quite yet. But you'll see her do that. I mean, she'll get better and better after. But that was why I took it off the plate. If like my plates are all like one color. See where food, you could see where the food begins and the plate begins, and you can see where the plate like ends and the food begins.
If somebody
And the you can see where the plate ends and the table begins too. Like I would never have like white plates on a white tablecloth because it would be too much of things. Like my house, you could see like I have things where things like separate, like where one thing ends and one thing begins, because there's a contrast if it's too busy or something.
If somebody is learning speech and they're living at home with their family, what would there be visuals even in, like they're trying to look at somebody's mouth, focus on their mouth? Would it help if the person wore bright lipstick, or would it be better if they wore no lipstick?
I don't know about other people. It didn't make that much of a difference to me, really.
What about if the person was wearing a bright shirt with a big picture on it, like the Nemo plate? Would it be easy or hard to keep looking at their mouth?
Yeah, because then I'm too caught up with what they're wearing.
So if they were wearing something like a blue t-shirt or a white t-shirt without a big design or pattern on it, it would be easier to look at their mouth?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
What if they had giant fancy glittering earrings that were great big earrings with all kinds of...
You could get distracted too.
So
I'm trying to think about when I was younger, because right now I know how to tone things down.
Yeah. But someone like who's a teenager, like Jamie Burke, or someone like Nicolette, or someone like Dove.
Well, I know with Nicolette what to do.
What is it? Would it? I guess what I'm saying is, for someone like yourself as a child, or other kids, depending on what kind of autism they have, it sounds to me like serving food on a plate with a big picture on it, or trying to do speech therapy with a shirt with a big complicated picture all over it.
I would put on a plain shirt.
Like solid color.
Yeah, like I got this shirt on now because Gladys picked it. But if I was going to practice the mouthing, if I was going to practice mouthing with the dolphin, I would not wear it because I wouldn't want her to count all the beads in the front or to look at all that. I want her to look at my mouth. So.
And what about would you wear a big necklace?
No, I don't wear a necklace anyhow.
So things for someone, say like a speech therapist, it might have been helpful to you to have for when you were a teenager, or maybe like with Nicolette, it would be helpful for a person to do something like not wear a lot of jewelry on their neck and ears, and not wear a shirt with beads and a big picture and patterns all over it. Because then it's going to be hard for someone like if you were a young person still learning, you would be busy looking at that instead of looking at their mouth.
Yeah, I guess I haven't thought about that. My dolphins therapist wears green scrubs most of the time, and sometimes it'll have a V here, and then sometimes she'll have like a t-shirt underneath, like a dark shirt with the sleeves coming out, and she'll look like the people on Scrubs. Yeah. Where but Turk always has the green scrubs on, but the guy JD would have like dark shirt up to here sometimes, or a t-shirt, and then he'll have a scrub, and they have the V like that, and then they have a dark. He has a dark here. Sometimes they change the colors, but it's always like two different colors. So, like whether that. So she wears almost always like a minty green scrub. And if she's not wearing a